Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you for joining me here. Happy Friday. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Let's take another look here at SUY. Nice recovery from this 250 range. Granted, Bitcoin's back up to 84,000 after coming all the way down to 78,200. So this is kind of par for the course. Honestly, there's nothing super amazing here, but there is a moderately bullish type of descending trend here. And I like to emphasize the word moderately bullish because everything still, for the most part, at least just from a bird's eye view, is very much bearish, right? So we shouldn't be taking longs willy-nilly just because we see some little microstructure shift. You need to recognize that this is still an overall downtrend. But those smaller time frames should reflect continuation higher. We may see that happen, but you got to recognize too, this is a weekend, folks, or soon to be a weekend. Fridays, taking a long into the weekends has never proven to be a good strategy. I know this because we had to close out a trade or two earlier in the year when we saw that. And again, when it comes to the overall situation, we've had 7 out of 7 weekends have resulted in a sell-off from Bitcoin, like a 4% correction on average, 4 to 5%, and then altcoins are correcting 5 to 15% on the weekends. It's ridiculous. So please, we see a little green here today. Don't get too crazy. Don't get too enamored by it. It may actually kick you in the butt later. So liquidation data, what are we looking at here? It's roughly the same scenario. As per usual, we're kind of in the middle of this range. So 310 is the upper range, 250 is the lower range. It's an easy way to understand it. We get closer to 310, there's a decent chance we see the price continue higher just based on that, that local liquidation. But the bigger picture here, majority of local liquidation has been swept. I mean, each one of these red bars, I don't know if you can see them, they're about $500 million. So a lot of people got absolutely destroyed in the last 24 to 48 hours. And what do you know? Market makers just push the price right back up after they got a nice sweet entry. So just know that majority of that has been taken care of. 250 may be the bottom, but just recognize that 240 is technically that lower range of liquidation that is still remaining. Bitcoin still has liquidation range between 76 and 78,000. There's that too. So I wouldn't be surprised if Bitcoin has one more leg down before we see things kind of start to stabilize. That may not happen right away. I'm hoping for a short, honestly, with Bitcoin in like the 87 to 90,000 range, hoping to kind of get a little bit more profit off this overall macro descending trend. But for right now, Bitcoin's stabilizing, correcting its behavior from yesterday, kind of normal stuff there. So when we take a look here, liquidation delta, we can see decent amount of liquidation delta here to the downside, implying shorts are still in play, and taking a long into this against it doesn't make a ton of sense. Okay. Open interest, we've got some significant open interest at 283 here, but a pretty big gap between here and 310. So we get through this little short-term microstructure shift at 280, then we should be able to see a run towards 310, quite possibly this weekend. But again, I'm very, very skeptical on trading weekends now. So just please trade carefully if you do so this weekend. Keep in mind this doji candle we're printing here so far is a pretty good sign. Typically when you see a closure, like say we close at 280 or higher, we probably have more propensity for further upside because that shows that the last 24 hours, the bulls have controlled the price action. Okay? And that kind of implies that continuation higher would make sense. It's seemingly probable because of that reason. Again, you don't take a trade on one specific thing, but that is a good factor there, including this descending type of trend, which typically breaks bullish, albeit it doesn't have to be a massive break. I'm not talking $4 to $5, folks, by the way. Please understand that. I'm not a moon boy by any stretch. I'm going to tell you what the charts tell me. That's it. You shouldn't take emotion and bring it here. I'm not listening to techno music and wearing sunglasses. I'm just being serious, real candid conversation. Probably not worth taking a high leverage long. But on the same accord, that smaller time frame is looking like it's more likely to shift in momentum. Cool thing is SUI, unlike other coins, never really came as low as 30 on the RSI, which does imply we have potential for further downside, but also increases the odds of sustainability here too. And it's a good sign in most cases, does not see that significant overselling pressure. While it did pull back like the majority of the market, it didn't pull back ridiculously hard. It just pulled back moderately hard. There is such a thing. All right, anyways, MACD is diverging, stochastic still swinging down, money flow index is low. There's nothing on the daily time frame really that's saying, hey, you should take a long right now. There's no hidden bullish anything, okay? And again, I always say hidden bullish sarcastically because I think it's kind of ridiculous that people find hidden treasures in cryptocurrency or trading charts. Most of those folks are getting lucky because they find one little outlier, and the overall sentiment is still down right now. Okay? So trading against that trend is a bad idea. That's just all there is to it. So even though, again, this it's not a rising wedge, it's basically a descending wedge or falling wedge. This guy here really implies that we're working ourselves into a smaller structure, and oftentimes you'll see that structure shift when you can close above the previous high. So what we're looking for really is a closure above $3 to get us there. But between now and then, we may see this price session run towards that 310 mark, as we described previously with that open interest and that liquidation range. Okay, all that being said, the 4-hour time frame, what are we seeing here? Well, we're still not over 50 on the RSI. We're stochastically trying to swing up, but haven't fully continued. MACD is converging, but isn't fully converged. There's a lot of things here kind of letting us know that we're not like in phenomenal shape. We're seeing a shift in momentum, as most of the market is, but it's not monumental enough to want to take a long. I would rather be over 50 on the RSI. I'd rather be over this previous resistance at 290. And I'd honestly rather see the overall market be better. I don't want to take a long into Bitcoin at 84,000, stuck in this weird range that we've never been in before. Bitcoin doesn't know what to do in the 80,000 range. We've spent 2 days in that range. So it's still way too early to take it long with confidence. Ichimoku Cloud, same thing here as well. We want to be back up over 280, or just say hypothetically today we close somewhere in the 280 or higher range. That would give us a little bit of consolation, letting us know that a long might be viable. And again, I've said this millions of times, I'll probably continue to say it. Do you trade on consolation? Do you trade on these little small threads of hope and prayer? No, you don't do that. That's not how trading works. You trade with confirmation. We don't have it yet. That's the easy way to understand it. So if you're going to take a long, I would insist that you take a long with, while watching it closely, adjust your stop loss higher. It's just not a good idea to take a long into a weekend in general, but this weekend feels even more iffy. I don't like it. It's just not a good feeling. And there's a decent chance we probably still see some further downside. If not today, we'll probably see some type of price action recovery, to the downside tomorrow or Saturday or Sunday. So if today we see a pump towards that $3.10 mark, that would be an excellent place to consider securing profits, walk away, let the price cool down. I don't think we're going to see a push to $4 or $5 in the relative near future unless Bitcoin really makes a run past 90,000. Okay, so that's kind of what we got there. I hope that makes sense. Check out our playout chart on our Twitter, Telegram, and Discord. It looks a little something like this. If you're not familiar, this is Bitcoin's structure, still bearish, keep in mind. And we still got a lot of liquidation left to the downside that we still need to, we can't rule that out just yet. Okay, and as per usual, just keep buying the dips, folks. It's quite hilarious. We've actually had this meme circulating in our community, but I had to post it last night. I thought it was funny. All right, folks, have a good rest of your day. We'll look forward to seeing the next one. Thanks so much again for your time. Take care.